Welcome to Martini Time. It's 5 o'clock on my let me show you. It's 5 o'clock on my father's watch, so it's always Martini Time. So, the title of this talk is Trump is a Lucky Strike. So, I came up with that. Well, I started writing today about the Time magazine cover with Trump looking down at a little crying immigrant. So I've been writing on that today. And I thought of, how shall I attack? Well, let me see, how shall I start this? The idea of my idea was that the border crisis is really symbolic. Everything that happens is just this, but it's also symbolic of something bigger. I won't use the word metaphor. Say symbolic. Maybe that won't freak you out. So the border crisis is symbolic of something bigger, but we don't see the bigger because all we see is the immediate crisis. It's kind of like here's a bent cup, right? So you have some soup, and all you really see is the soup. Yeah, drink the soup. Oh, is it good or bad soup? But we don't see the cup. You see, so suppose the cup made the soup taste bad. Well, we would drink, this tastes bad. So we would start blaming the cook, blaming the farmer, blaming everything. But nobody would blame the cup because you can't see the cup, you see. So when the border crisis is symbolic, we see the border crisis, what's the cause of it, this or that, good, bad, all of that you see, but we don't see the symbolism. So what's the symbolism? Okay, well then I thought of Mad Men, and one of the greatest shows or episodes was when the big tobacco companies, Lucky Strike particularly, which was a client of Draper's company, had a problem. They had to advertise that the tobacco product was bad for you. You see, all of the advertising is symbolic that it's good for you. So there was an ad I posted, 30,000 doctors say Lucky Strike is less irritating. It's toasted. So you should buy Lucky Strikes because it's less irritating. Oh, and it's toasted. And that was what Don Draper came up with. How are we going to sell this crap? Oh, it's toasted. So you shift the focus. You see, it's a magic act. You shift it away from the medical advisor to the toasted. Oh, it must be okay if it's toasted. Then look at the pharmaceutical ads. Okay, so I love these things. So you're watching somebody playing with the children, going camping, riding their bike, having a barbecue. Oh, they're so joyous and happy because they took this new drug. And all the time you're watching at the happiness of the people who took the drug, there's a voice telling you of all of the side effects, some of which are longer than the commercial. So you don't even hear it. All you see is what the ad points your eyes to. Oh, they're so happy, I want that. And you don't even hear all of the life-threatening side effects that you're going to get if you take this sucker. You see? So we've been indoctrinated with this for 50 years now. We are an advertising culture. We are an advertising consumer. Everywhere. You can't find, even on the internet, the internet's free of advertising. No. Facebook's not free. Nothing is free from it. If there's a crack anywhere, an ad will get in there. All right, well, this is what we have to live with, because we live in a consumer society, and that's the operating system that makes the thing go. So we have to understand it. You can't get rid of it. You have to understand that we've been brainwashed. So we've been brainwashed by advertising. You realize now, 50 years, I mean, that's how many generations have grown up now. Everybody alive now, except me, has grown up with TV advertising. You see, everybody but me and people older than me has grown up with TV advertising. And I grew up with radio advertising, newspaper advertising. Well, that's advertising, but it's not like TV advertising. But anyway, so how does advertising work? Well, it points you at what it wants you to see and doesn't tell you the wider picture. So what's the advertising of Trump? So what's the wider picture of the border crisis? Separation. So if you boil it all down, it's separation. But this one's particularly hot because it's separating the Madonna from the Christ child. You know, the pictures of Mary with the baby Jesus, mother and child, sacred relationship. Separate it. Separate Mary from Jesus. So that separation, you see, is the symbol that is enraging people. Nobody's going down there, and reporters are, but I mean, there's the facts of it. There's the historical, the concrete facts, and those are all mixed because you have probably good people in the Border Patrol trying to make the thing work the best they can, or whatever it is, but the symbolism of it is separation. So that points to something larger. You see, what does separation point to? Division. And of course, the border crisis is separation of families. Well, you can tolerate separation of a lot of stuff. You can get separated from your car, from your job. You can get separated from your wife. You can get separated from your... well, wait a minute. But when it comes to family, mother and child, parents and children, that's the separation you cannot tolerate. You can't go there's nothing greater that you can separate yourself from, unless it's your life. You see what I mean? So this is kind of like the separation that's gone a bridge too far, because this cuts down to the existential value that we all identify with, the mother and the child. So, but there's a broader implication here. So let's go back to the Founding Fathers. Now, the Founding Fathers were stuck with a problem. They had this empty country. I mean, had Indians in it, but these were tribal people, and you can't build an industrial Western society on tribal culture. They don't mix. So they just kind of like overrode the Indians, kicked them out, overrode them and everything. So they got to build a society, and there is no ethnic Europeans here. I mean, England had ethnic English people. France has ethnic French people. Hungarian people, Italian people, Greek people, Turkish people. Everybody has an ethnic base, you see. But there isn't any here. So how do you get people? And also the country's empty. So how do you get people to come here? Well, you design a system that is open to immigration. So America basically is an open-door society that is fundamentally based on immigrants coming here to energize, fill up, and activate this society. Just like Anthony Bourdain, when he goes on a trip, he goes to a new culture with new food, and this is new, it's great, it's so rich and everything. Well, that's why America is rich today, because of its immigrant stew, its immigrant flavors. All the flavors, Latin, Black, or African, Middle East, European, Asian, all of it comes here and adds their flavors. It makes delicious meals, creative meals. America is a chef that uses all the different immigrants, you see. So the whole philosophy, the whole principle of America is inclusion, unity. Come here. That is the bedrock principle of our beloved American society. So now we have a new principle, which is separation. Divide it. Exclusion. Build a wall. Keep the immigrants out because they're murderous, rapists, killers, you see. They're infested. They're going to infest us, you see. Trump's words. So this is a different principle. It's tribal. So it's creating an ethnic tribe that says, sorry, doors closed, no more immigrants. And this is the destruction of America. This is the downward. This is the downward climb, the downward trip, you see. Because once you start doing that, you have new impurities you have to kick out because you never get pure enough. Hitler found that out. You never can get pure enough. There's always going to be another spot you got to get rid of. There's always a new germ. You can't get to ultimate purity, you see. So it's insane. But I think this is what really is awakening the outrage, you see, is because we realize, finally, that we're destroying ourselves here. And it's not just Trump. This has been building for 50 years. As I said, advertising. And it's not advertising. That's not the cause. I'm just saying we're unable to see the bigger picture because our minds have been brainwashed to see the political advertising that points to one thing without telling you the side effects. Political advertising, which is all the news that we propaganda and all that stuff, it just points to what it wants. The political propaganda points to what it wants you to see, and you don't hear the side effects. That's a very simple thing.